Well, let's take a gander at Kizer's drop bear. Drop bear with the clutch lock. Clutch lock being like Omega Springs Axis type lock, but it's adjustable. It's adjustable. I put a drop bear clutch lock on my channel before. I think it was aluminum, a 154 cm. This one is dark matter, carbon fiber, the Medusa pattern with S35EN blade. Okay, so this is different in that respect. And take a look at it. You've got a titanium pocket clip that you can flip from left to right. Okay, and this dark matter is supposed to be, I don't know, it's interesting. Take a look at what they're saying here. Medusa pattern on the handle, interplay of black, blue, dark purple lines, this and that. With a handle gloss, it changes mysteriously, varying light. So apparently I don't have enough varying light in here. Okay, and then this is the stats. It's a 3-inch blade, etc. 7.2 inches overall length, that kind of thing. I can see that there's a little purple right in there. Trying to get this at the right angle, but I can see some green, black, maybe a tinge of purple through here a little bit, and definitely was seeing it here. So, but this is not daylight. This is not, okay, yeah, I can see the little bit of purple running through here. I have a feeling this probably changes from knife to knife, that they vary a bit. And maybe a little tinge of purple right in through here, etc. Okay, so the drop bear in Azo design. Okay, it's comfortable in the hand. It's not a real big knife. It's not a real heavy knife. But the clutch lock, I like the clutch lock system. I like it better than the Axis lock system, and maybe it's just because I don't understand Benchmade's Axis lock or disassembly reassembly process that well. Because when you have the Axis lock knives, they're not accessible in the front. They don't have both front and back accessibility. So the problem is you undo this, okay? Well, then you've got an Omega spring like you do here, and it's into that steel liner. So you got to pop that off and release it from this bar here, okay? But you've still got the Omega spring over here, but you can't pull it off because you got to take the scale off, and so you got this pivot screw that has no entryway here to get out of there. So that means you push the whole, pivot, push it out this way, okay, to get that out of the way. So then you can loosen the screw and you can take this scale off, and then you can take this Omega spring off. So then, and then you've opened this up because you've got a little cavity that runs down here where this lock, this bar lock, can go down and pull all the way out. Then you can separate the two liners and you can get to the pivot with the bearings and all that. But when you put it back together, what do you do? Because you can't really build it back from this side. Well, you got to put these liners together and the Omega springs and all that, and it's a mess. With this, you can undo this, and so you can pull both scales off. You can undo the Omega springs and pull this through. But I mean, so you've got access both. It's so much easier on disassembly and reassembly. It makes so much more sense. Plus, the fact that the clutch lock, which is basically an Axis lock that's adjustable, has multiple holes. So instead of like Kunwu has done, which is giving you a heavier Omega spring and a lighter Omega spring, they've done here is to give multiple holes to where you're stretching the spring harder, making it, stiffer in that way and changing the behavior of that. Now, here's the box, okay? drop bear, Azo design, dark matter, clutch lock, 3-inch blade. Okay, so here's the box it comes in, and of course it has a microfiber cloth that you can see down there, okay, and piece of paperwork, etc., etc. Let's get this out of here. Okay, so then you get a sticker. You're so lucky, damn it. Okay, and here is an extra set of springs. Now, I can't remember if these are just replacement ones or if these are supposed to be a heavier action, because I kept thinking that was what Kanwu was doing on what they were all about. And it's been a while since I've had my X-Tau or any of that kind of thing apart. But then you have extra hardware as well. So you do have extra Omega springs, which is good. And then it just comes in this little pouch here. Okay. So, I mean, I think that's excellent. And you know what? It's going to save Kizer a lot of grief, because a guy comes back to him and says, I need an Omega spring, or I need an extra body screw, or whatever. It's already in the box. It's already in the box. So I think that saves a lot of back and forth for sure. But no, this is comfortable. The drop bear has always been really a comfortable knife. It's not a huge knife, but it's enough. I mean, it's enough for a full-size EDC in that regard. 3-inch blade, little over 7 point, not 7 1/4, 7.15, something like that, and 18 centimeters overall length, and you're looking at about 75 millimeter blade length right there. Okay, maybe not a piercing champ, but I mean, you can do some cutting with it. And is it relatively sharp out of the box? Yeah, and of course I dropped this right on the concrete floor before doing this video. It was lovely, lovely thing, and I just about had a freaking heart attack. And then I go, oh, of all the knives, I drop on the floor, not the $35 G10 beater, right? It's got to be the $160, dark matter, super steel, beauty. But you know what? I don't see, I mean, I looked it over going, holy moly, what did I do? What did I do? And you know what? I don't see any damage to it. So it just proves that miracles can happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it hit on, but whatever it hit on, if it did leave a mark, it was extremely minuscule. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Okay. Really easy, fidget friendly, and of course you got the ambidextrous thumb studs, so it's really easy to kick out. And you got some jimping right on top up here, and wow, it's just a little, with black blades and black handles and black everything, it's a little tough. That's why I don't really prefer to have black knives on my channel, because it's a little tougher to see or to get right in the right light so people can kind of see detail. But you can see the jimping here, up and down here. So no, it's comfortable. And of course, left and right, deep carry on a titanium clip. And then of course, here's your standoffs, pretty much open design. And then of course, you've got not nested liners, but visible liners here that are right there. So yeah, I mean, it's a good solid knife. And I mean, I had that black aluminum with the purple thumb studs and this, and I think that was 154 cm. But you know what, Kizer has been doing a lot of stuff with, well, not only just S35 but M390, but also yeah, the 154 and 3V, right? I mean, I've seen some stuff on Mojave Outdoors, which they're a big Kizer dealer. They're just exclusively a huge Kizer dealer, right? But they've done some things in 3V, and I know that White Mountain Knives has had some exclusives that they've done with Kizer in 3V, and maybe in 4V or something like that. And I'm trying to think if they had done something in LMAX as well. But they've done some different steels, which I'm kind of. I mean, I haven't seen them do any Magna Cut or CTS XHP or any of that. And Magna Cut's kind of back in China. It was like they couldn't get that material for a while, but I think that's back because I think you're seeing some things that are OEM'd in China by USA designer guys, and they're coming out with Magna Cut. Okay, so I guess that's all coming around again too. But this one in S35VN, and at that price with dark matter and a super steel at the $150 range, basically, it's yeah. I mean, if you can catch this on White Mountain Knives at $160 or whatever it is, then 10% off. So what would you be, about 145, something like that? And that's pretty damn reasonable. I mean, these days it seems like so much out there is, oh shit, 250, 350, 450, fives. I mean, it's a little crazy when you really sit down and think about it. There's times when I'll go buy something for three something and not really think that much about it. But really, if you sit there and think about it, that's starting to really get there for a production knife, isn't it? So, okay, but this is a lot more palatable. And no, don't throw it on the floor just because it's so inexpensive, okay? Just, shit. Try not to. Try not to. But, oh, hold on. What does this weigh, my friends? And I don't know right now. Hold on, let me take a look through this. Diamond weight? What are we doing? Okay, hold on. Ounces 3.3, 3.3, 3.4, whatever you want to do. And grams 95.9. Okay, yeah, that's pretty light. That's pretty light. Cuts okay. Decent sharpness out of the box. Not real thick, of course, blade steel. Let me see if I can get some of my garbage out of the way so I can actually find my caliper, which is probably hiding from me now. Oh, of course. Of course it is. 12.8 millimeters at 0.5, so a half inch, which is, it's thicker than a PM2, which is like a 0.46, but not much. Probably not really noticeable. And then what are we looking at? About 2.7, 2.6 millimeter blade stock. Okay, so that's where we are on that. Feels good, like it. Always wondered if, this is a 3-inch and 7.15. I wouldn't object to a 3.5, drop bear XL. I know they've done like the Assassin in XL. They have done the original, the Kizer original in XL. And the Kizer original in XL is a 3.25-inch blade. And I think you shouldn't be able to call something XL until you're at least 3.5. And I'm sure there's guys out there that would say, should be 3.75 plus before you call it XL. But okay, so they've done the original, they've done the Assassin, they've done the Baglighter, in XL. Now the Baglighter XL is a 4-inch blade. Okay, so there you go. That's real XL. And of course the Sheepdog in XL, and then the mini, and then the medium, and the standard size is 3.3-inch blade. And so this is, I would just say this is standard, I guess. This is not a mini, but what are you going to do to make it a mini? 2.75? I don't know that you're going to cut it much, but you could go to 3.5, 3.6, 3.65-inch blade. I think that'd be interesting. And this would be interesting in like a Vanguard series of maybe a G10 with a clutch lock. I wouldn't object to that either. I would think that might be interesting. So there's that. And then button lock possibly as opposed to the clutch lock. you know, although the drop bear I think it was one of the first ones to come out in the clutch lock, so it's kind of owned that. But there it is. Okay, so I was just going to show you that, and also, you know what? Let's go ahead and I'll show you how that I think. I mean, it's I think I'm going to show you how I'm going to really screw this damn thing up. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm going to show you that this is that one thing where this makes more sense that it's set up like this for disassembly reassembly, because you take that off and you can take the other off. And so this is a number 8. Yeah, this is a number 8 as well. Okay. So let's just start with the front side. Okay, there's the pivot, there's the body screw, and you can pop this off. Okay, so there's the front scale. You see what I'm saying here? Okay, underneath, what do we got? We got a screw here, okay? And then we've got this adjustable area for this omega spring, okay? So there's that. Now, the thing is, when you have an axis lock, I couldn't do this because this whole thing, there would be no way to unscrew this front because there's not an opening there. You have to do it from the back. But here you can do it from the front, and then you can also pop this off, okay? And where'd I have that lined up to, by the way? Oh, I forgot which hole I was cooked into, but it don't matter. I don't think it makes a lot of difference, but you can argue with me on that. I don't care. Okay, and then under here, I don't know if this, nah, they're making it number 6. Okay, let's do this then. Gonna go down this rabbit hole. But then, okay, let's take this out. Okay, so we got this side here, okay, and then we got this side. This is the presentation, okay, with, and of course, the omega spring is particular to each side, the way it's set up, okay? You can't interchange those. But here we go with the pocket clip. Let's just go ahead and, while we're at it, and I'll show you how I think this makes more sense. And I wish actually Benchmade not necessarily go to a clutch lock, but make their knives to where they're easier to disassemble. Oh, hold on. Let me grab mine. Yeah, that's titanium. Okay. I was just saying. Okay, and so we got Fat Boy back here. Okay, so he's at number 8. Okay, and so we'll go next door with the backside over here. But see, we've got this. We can take off. Okay, so look at, we've got a 3-piece pivot. So we've got a screw, and then we got that piece that goes through, which makes sense when you got this kind of a setup. Okay, so here's the back scale. See how easy this is to disassemble? And the way it's going to go back together is going to be just as easy. Now, the pivot piece that goes through there is squared off, right? So it's a captured pivot technically, right? Okay, so we're good. But you see how you have to take this off. I guess this was number 2 hole, now that I'm noticing. Okay, so we got number 2 hole. And we kick this out, and we'll take this little omega spring off. And really, I probably should have like a little needle nose or something, but I don't give a shit. And we'll just pop you off. It should just pop right off of there. Okay, so now there's the back side. Okay, come off of there. Ooh, tried to throw it off the front of my mat. That would have been lovely right on the floor. Okay, so as I was saying, then you open this up. But see, the scales hide this, so you cannot take this out without taking the scales off on both sides, okay? So now you can. Now you can just drop this piece out, and you're done with that, right? Okay. Now you can pop these off because you're done with everything except that screw that's sitting there. Okay, to hell with you. I already did it on this side, right? So this should be able to pop off. Okay. So there's this, and there's your blade stop. Okay, so there's your front, and this is with presentation side, so we'll just kind of do this and lay it there, okay? So this is where we have our ceramic bearings, okay? And they're on the back side of this too. Front and back, okay? So here's our pivot that's going through here, and it is, whoop, and it is squared off. So it is captured. There's bearings, bearings. There's our pivot, and it's squared off on the ends right there, okay? So it's captured by these, okay? Because this is squared off right there, you can see, and on the other liner as well. And of course, there's your standoff thing. And I don't know, I was looking at this. Yeah, see, this is squared off up here too. So it's only going to go back together that one way. And see, I don't need to take this screw out. I could, but what difference does it make right now? Now it's all apart, okay? But this is how it comes apart, and it's not that difficult to put back together because you have a three-piece pivot, so the screws can come in from both sides or go out from both sides, and you can disassemble it that way where you don't have to push the whole pivot through to the front and then fiddle with trying to get everything reassembled. It's a pain. It's a pain. I don't know how Benchmade does it. The way I've done it is I'll get it all kind of assembled and put something through there to hold that, and then I'll push the pivot back through from the front, which is, you know, if anything slides out of the way, like a washer or a bearing ring, you're screwed. You're going to have to kind of, it gets fiddly, okay? And it's hard to explain. It's easier to show. You could see it on maybe one of my old Benchmade disassembly things if I showed the reassembly, which I used to do back in the day. Okay. Now, so I am going to show the reassembly of this, okay? So let's just kind of, you know, little bit clean some of this stuff up a bit. It's not like it's dirty and needs a lot of servicing, but you know, some people, they tear their knives apart regardless. And where's the other? Here it is. Okay. So I've tried to segregate my parts to where I know where they're coming back at. And there's that as well. Okay. There's that ring, bearing ring as well. And then this wipe up a little bit, this wipe up a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay. But here it is. Now, like we were saying, right? Okay. So what do we need to do? Well, first thing we need to do is we need to, you know, put this pivot piece in here, right? And it will only, yeah, it's not going to turn other than that. And then this will go here and it's captured, right? And so then, where did I just throw my, oh, here's my go-go juice. Okay. And I'll just put some on here. Just some, like that, okay? Then I can put my blade on, okay? Just like this. And of course, I didn't wipe this down with crap. Okay, let's do that, okay? So now we got that, right? Okay. Now we can put the other set of bearings on, and we can give it a little bit more, juice it up, and just throw the damn bearing ring completely on the table. Come on, baby, get back on, okay? Okay, so far so good, right? So easy. And we have the blade stop there, and then we got this little standoff back in here, right? Okay, so we could just put this together. Other than, what else am I missing? Oh, this here. So this is the one back here. This is the one over here. And so, and I think it's squared off as well up there. Hold on, let me get there's a flat side here. Let's drop this down. And I can see that it's flat side. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, are we there? We're there. Okay. And of course, this is on this side, that's on that side. But I think they'll just drop into place pretty much just like that. And they did. Okay. So we're good. Now, then on this side, we go in here. So, and this was over here, I believe. And let me see this side too. Okay, yeah, they were the same. So, okay, so these will go in here and here. And let's see what we got. These are number 8s, I believe. Or were they? Yeah, this is a number 8. And I think that the others were number 6. Hold on. What am I looking at? Hold on, this is the number 6. I think that's what we're looking at right here. Right there. Because that also was a number 6. Correct. Okay. Hold on. What do we got out here? Okay, so this is going to go all the way there. Okay, so no, I don't put anything there. This is it. Okay. Now, just not paying attention sometimes. So then you can run this up, okay? You can push it through and run it up here, okay? So now you've got this installed, okay? Now, of course, this means this blade's not going to move, right? So it's like this. You can do this, okay? Now you can put your clutch lock, together. You can do that if you want, right? And then after you do that, then you can put your scale over the top. So this is your front, okay? So this is your clutch lock piece that goes right around the bar. Click, it's on there. Now you just got to put the spring into whichever hole you want. And if you want it in that second hole, so be it. Or in the third hole, it's in the third hole right there. Now it's in the second hole right there. Okay, so there's that. And so you can do the clutch lock on the back. This is something you can't do on Benchmade like this. But this makes it so much easier than that. Okay, now kick this. Also, just put it around there. Then just push this to whichever position, and that's number 2 position. Now we got this put together, right? Now all we have to do is we put this back on the front, right? Okay. And then, of course, this dog goes back in here. Okay. And then this dog goes in here. Correct? So there's your pivot reassembly. And then now you can just drop this on. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now you got the pivot, which is a number 8. And I think that, and the screw back on the body is also a number 8. So let's put this in, okay? So there we go. And we got this screw, which is also a number 8. Goes back in here under where the pocket clip would be banging down right there. So now we got it back together. That is so much easier than the Benchmade access lock. I'm not trying to diss Benchmade. I mean, I got several Benchmades, but this is way easier to disassemble and reassemble. Especially if you're thinking you want to disassemble, reassemble to clean and do maintenance. This is going to be easier. Okay, so yeah, and I might have tightened it a little bit much, but that's easy to adjust. Boom, boom, right there. Okay, so, and then here's our pocket clip. So there's the last piece of the puzzle, right? And we go here, and of course, if you want it on the other side, you can do it on the other side because you got right and left hand on that. And then, of course, these are number 6s. Okay, okay. And, okay. So now you got pocket clip on here. What do you got? You got it reassembled. I just think it's an easier system, to tell you the truth. I really like the way it turns out. So I think more companies, if they're going to go to a clutch lock or they're going to go to an axis lock type situation, they need to have a setup like this. It's so much easier for the average Joe to pop it apart and put it back together. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. I like it. Drop bear. I like it when it when it comes together. Did I edit it enough to cover for myself if I screwed up? You never know, the magic of film. But yes, you can see what I was talking about. The drop bear, good little knife too. Would I like to see this in G10 with maybe a 154 cm blade and an XL version? Yeah, I think this would be pretty cool in that way. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing this in a Desert Warrior, configuration, Blade HQ exclusive, with the Homer's donut, thing. I think this would be way cool, okay? But there she be right there. Dark Matter S35VN clutch lock system. It's a drop bear. Check it out. Check Kizer out. I'll give you the link to that and also to where it might be listed on White Mountain Knives because LTK is your 10% discount code there as well. And you guys, stay sharp.